Hello everyone, it's Andrew from GemTCG here, and today's video will be showing a hack to get more sales, especially for newer sellers. And I'm emphasizing on newer sellers or even slightly larger sellers, but not the big sellers that have a huge inventory. This is more focused on people just starting off or looking to grow their inventory as quick as possible. And this works only for eBay, and I don't see it working for TCG Player. Maybe it could, but it's something that I've realized and talked about in previous videos, but I want to have a kind of dedicated video to this concept, which is restocking in inventory that has already sold. And there are many reasons why this works and how it could be used to make your store grow faster, get more money coming in, and then also just have a more focused approach to what you want to sell and how you plan to sell. And before I even get into how to do it, I'm going to explain why it works and what I've learned in my experience, which is when you sell something on eBay, obviously there's competition. There are things within the listing that impact how your listing ranks against the other people. And one of the biggest things on that is sales volume for that listing already. And I think there are multiple reasons why this works, and also just like a mental reason, which is if I'm viewing something, whether it's on eBay, Amazon, any type of marketplace, if I see that a certain item has sold 1,000 times, and then I see the competitor's item has sold maybe 5 to 10 times, I'm going to more than likely choose the item that has sold more times over the one with less sales, because you just assume that it's a better product if it's sold more times, and maybe that it's a better seller because they have more inventory to sell. There are many things and reasons why seeing a product with more sales just looks better to the buyer. And then on top of that, I don't have proof of this, but I'm pretty sure that when an item sells on eBay, it gets shown more often in the search results. Whenever I look at my existing inventory and I just, for fun, I go and check if I search for that item, will it show up first? Most times, the items that show up first, like, and outrank other sellers are the ones that have multiple sales or even just one sale, because one sale versus zero sales is still a huge difference. And now I'm going to show you guys how to leverage this and use it to your advantage, which is when you notice a item gets a sale. So let's say you have a EV trainer gallery card listed, and single card listing, you just have one quantity available. Let's say that card sells. And assuming you're doing a decent pricing strategy, you're not selling at market, you're not selling below market, but you're selling a little bit above market. So that way you have room for profit. And that card sells. So you do the order, whatever. The next thing you should be doing, if you want to take advantage of that sale, is to buy more EV trainer gallery cards and then restock that specific listing as soon as possible. Because now you have a listing that has sold at a price that is above market. And when people go to search for that card in the future, they're going to see your listing higher up than other listings. More than most likely that will happen. And if you do this on a scale of 100 different listings, every time something sells, you go on TCG Player or you go on Facebook looking for that specific card and you just buy up a bunch of them, you will start to notice a lot more sales, and you will get to a higher scale than if you were to just do the bare basics, which are still good. Doing the foundation stuff is very good. Sourcing inventory as much as possible is very good. But if you are a small seller looking to grow and you have the time to be more attentive to what you have listed, what's selling, what to restock, then this is a very good approach to do because it's more fine tuned. You're not buying everything, but you're buying stuff that has been selling. And especially if you have limited capital and you can't just go out and buy $1,000 worth of cards in the hopes that most of it will sell within a relative time frame. And another good benefit of this is that when you get an item that has sold, and then let's say you buy 10 copies of that card to restock it, there will be many times where someone will see that listing and say, oh, one sold, but they have 10 available. They will buy all 10 of your cards, and then you'll get a huge influx of cash to have. And those types of sales are huge as a seller because you are selling a larger amount of inventory at once, and it's basically the same work as if you were to sell one card. Selling 10 cards of the same, or 10 copies of the same card, almost feels like the same work as selling one copy of that card. So time wise, it's the same, but you're getting a huge amount of profit in because it's one shipping cost. You're buying all of them at once. And then that gives you more money to just restock, buy more inventory, and do all that. And there is one kind of exception or another detail that I need to share about this, which is this works mainly for cards probably below $20. I wouldn't really advise this if you're selling stuff that's $50 and above, because most times people buying those types of cards want to buy something that they could see how the centering is and the edges and the corners. So those you usually benefit from having single card listings, but just making a bunch of different ones if you get more inventory for them. But when you get cards that are below $20, typically they're binder cards. And at least for me, I don't think people are buying those cards to grade them unless it's some weird pump and dump situation like we see with the Pikachu from Celebrations, the Mimikyu, like all those random cards that just get pumped to be graded. And it's even better for the bulk. I sell bulk at $3 no matter what. I do $3 free shipping. This is the perfect thing to do if you are selling those types of cards, because let's say you bought and I talked about this in that other video with the Gengar Trick or Trade card. That card, I don't know what it was worth at the time of selling. It's probably gone up a lot now, but I sold one copy and I noticed it. And then I combined all of my duplicate listings with that TCG Automate feature. And it had, I believe there was 15 copies after I combined them all, and then all 15 sold within a day or two. And then if you think about it, that card I bought in bulk for 3 cents a card, and then I sold it for $3. And someone bought 5 at a time. They bought 4 at a time. They bought a lot at a time, and it wasn't just a single card order. So I was making $10 profit on each order with a cost of goods of 15 cents. So you could see how that could play a huge role in having a lot of multi-card sales and huge profit marks, because you are utilizing something that's already in place and you're just attacking it in a way. And then back to the point of how it works with the really cheap cards that you get in bulk is because there's just so much competition for bulk cards since there's so much supply and competition on the supply side, because there's so many listings of them, a lot of people have them. So if you get a sale, and let's say you're doing that $3 free shipping, and then you go on TCG Player and you search for that card, and you'll see someone that has maybe 20 copies for 10 cents a piece. You buy those 20 copies, restock your listing, and then boom, you have technically $60 worth of inventory, but it only cost you $2. And then since you have that sale on the listing, you're going to get more sales because eBay will show it off more and people will trust it more since you already have a sale. And again, just to emphasize, I don't think I would advise doing this if you are a larger seller, because a lot of the things I talk about and advise is to be more hands off and let the sales come in naturally. But when you're starting off as a seller, you don't have a lot of capital, or most times you don't have a lot of capital. You don't have a lot of inventory. And the number one thing you should be focusing on is getting sales, feedback, and experience. So in order to do that, you have to be more, it's like a guerrilla tactic almost. You have to do things that, something that they talk about with like with startups is do things that don't scale. And I think that's the right approach for this, is do things manually and do things that won't work in the long run, but will help you out a ton right now to get you that good feedback and get you a bunch of sales and stuff. Because when you have 10,000 listings, you can't be actively looking at each one, seeing which one sold. Let me go in TCG Player and restock it, whatever. But when you maybe have 100 listings or 200 listings and it's hard to find entire collections to buy at your scale, then this is a great approach to restock inventory that's actually selling, and then also just get more sales in a more narrow approach. And this is not a huge reason as to why I like this, but something you'll realize when you sell enough cards is that your sales will be a very early market indicator. And what I mean by that is when something sells, that holds a lot more weight than hearing someone say, oh, these cards are going to go up or this card is going up, because it's actual people putting their money to it and speaking with their wallets rather than just speculation and predictions. So when you see a sale come in for a card and then you restock it, there will be a very high chance that, or not a very high chance, but there is a chance that by the time the inventory that you bought to restock it comes in, that card might have gone up 10, 20%. And that's not the main goal of this, but it is a added benefit potentially when you do something like this. For example, with that Gengar card, I believe when I was selling it, the market price was very cheap because the trick or trade cards were not worth a lot. And I don't even know how much it was worth, but I was selling it for $3. And assuming I had bought more inventory from TCG Player, I probably could have got it for like below 50 cents for sure. And then now today it's probably worth $2 to $3, which means I could have sold it for more. So when you do stuff like that, you'll be able to profit a lot more. And this is not something to aim for, but it's something that you could take advantage of if it happens. That's about it for this one. Let me know what you guys think on this concept and if you have ever tried it. I know Card Throne talked about it in one of his videos with his 151. I believe they were variation listings or one variation listing. And whenever he runs low on inventory, he'll restock directly from TCG Player. So check out that video. He showed how to do it in a really efficient way. I know I'm just talking about the concept, but he showed how to actually do it. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.